All right, folks, we're going to talk about measuring in radians. Do you guys remember hearing about radians? So you can use degrees and radians to measure angles. When we look at a circle, right, a circle we all know has 360 degrees, but we can also say that the circle has 2 pi radians. And it's important to understand that that is not saying I guess anything other than what it's saying. That's a different type of measurement. So we can measure the circle in these pi looking things called radians. So 2 pi radians is exactly the same thing as 360 degrees. When we're talking about angle measure, the 2 pi radians is identical to saying 360 degrees. And therefore we can convert, right? We can convert from radians to degrees and from degrees to radians. That's all we're up to today. It's very straightforward. Because those are equal, here is the conversion. If we want to convert 2 degrees, we'll just multiply by 180 degrees divided by pi. And if we want to convert to radians, we'll multiply by pi divided by 180 degrees. And those are our conversions. That's how we'll do it. It's really that straightforward. So number 1 says convert pi over 4 to degrees. So we're in this column here. We're starting with pi over 4 radians. And we want to know how many degrees would that be. So pi over 4 times 180 degrees divided by pi. It's as simple as here's our pi over 4. Here's what we're multiplying by. It is that straightforward. And so we're going to get 180 degrees pi over 4 pi. And of course, these cancel out. I divide 180 degrees by 4. And I get 45 degrees. And that's it. So if you ever see pi over 4, now you know that that's the same as 45 degrees. That's it. That's all there is to it. Similarly, if I take 240 degrees and I want to turn it into radians, I'll multiply it by pi over 180. So times pi over 180 degrees. So that's 240 pi over 180. And now we need to simplify. So we need to think what fraction is 24 over 18. And when we simplify 24 over 18, we're going to get 4 pi over 3 radians. We usually don't write the word radian. It's usually not what we need to do, but because you're just learning it, it might be helpful to remind yourself that you're not saying some random number, but you're saying it's a type of angle measurement, particularly the angle measurement called radians. And so now let's convert 5 pi over 6 to radians. So that's 5 pi over 6. I said that wrong. 5 pi over 6 to degrees. So let's convert that. We're going to convert it by multiplying by 180 over pi. Our pi's are going to cancel. And this time I want to cancel stuff in advance. My 6 is going to divide into that 180 by 30. And so I'm going to get 5 times 30, that's 150 degrees. Moving on to number 4, we're going to convert 105 degrees to radians, multiplying that by pi over 180. We get 105 pi divided by 180. Need to simplify that now. And I divided the 105 and the 180 by 5 to get 21 over 36. And now I'm going to divide by 3 to get 7 pi over 12. And that's as simple as I can make it. So 7 pi over 12 radians. So far we've done 4. It really is that straightforward. We converted from degrees to radians, from radians to degrees, and we've got a few more problems left. All right, so we've got convert 7 pi over 3 to degrees. What do we multiply that by? Same thing, 180 over pi. Pi's cross off. These are going to divide into each other. And so 7 times 6 is 42. So 420 degrees. So that means that 7 pi over 3 is the same thing as 420 degrees. Over here, it says find sine of pi over 3. And soon you'll be able to think in radians just like you think in degrees already. But for now, let's just go ahead and convert that. So pi over 3 into degrees, 180 over pi. Pi's cancel out, and it just becomes 60 degrees. In other words, this is the same thing as saying, what is sine of 60 degrees? And when we go back to yesterday or 2 days ago's lesson, we remind ourselves that means to look at 60 degrees and to look at the y value. So that's all we've got to do is go to the 60 degrees, look at the y value, and write down that it's square root of 3 over 2. So sine of pi over 3 is just the square root of 3 over 2. So not bad, pretty straightforward. And here are the little helpful notes again, but here's the 6 homework problems for you guys to work through. Yep, not bad at all.